bounces to Kevin Nellis at his 43-yard line. Nellis puts his hand down and crosses the 50 to about the 52-yard line.
Kevin, you were a born and raised Winnipegger. You grew up in Norwood. Where did your passion for football start? As
a youngster, I was a football fan, and I used to play pickup football on the street with a bunch of friends all the time. But I never did get into football as an actual team sport that I played until well into university. I was a track and field runner and really had a passion for that.
That's it. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are Grey Cup champions from 1984, defeating the Hamilton Tiger Cats 47-17.
You won the 1984 Grey Cup on your hometown team. Tell us about that moment.
Grey Cup week was so busy and so fast moving that you really couldn't take stock of it. But I remember when I got home and we had the Grey Cup parade.
16,000 fans jammed the Winnipeg Arena to welcome home the Grey Cup champions, and their fun spilled into the corridors.
And I was driving home from the Grey Cup parade, and it just dawned on me that we'd won the Grey Cup and we'd broken a long Grey Cup drought, and here I was in my rookie year on my hometown team, and it was just a pretty surreal moment.
The roof would blow off
because of the Grey Cup drought. When we finally won that West Final in BC, and we got back to Winnipeg, as we were coming down the escalator at the Winnipeg International Airport, we could see that the airport was just jammed. They had to sort of cut away a line for us to get onto a bus that would take us to the Viscount Court. It was actually a little scary because fans were surrounding the bus and rocking the bus a little bit, but it was, boy, it was a great reception.
To honor what they hope will be the Grey Cup champions.
The mid-'80s was some of the best football the Bombers played. Talk about the team dynamic and why you guys were so successful during that time.
The real culture of winning. I mean, football's a game where a lot of momentum carries you through, and you know, you always hear these days that winning is something that's learned, and we really learned how to win.
You learn from a lot of the guys. You learn from watching them and from what they say to you, and just basically more than anything else is the experience you get by doing it, and you get a feel for it.
The injured Winnipeg player being assisted to the bench is Kevin Nellis.
Your career ended after 4 years due to a major knee injury, but it wasn't long after that a former teammate and Blue Bomber approached you, Joe Poplawski, and introduced you to the insurance industry. Talk about that transition from the football field to the boardroom.
The last thing I thought I wanted to do when I finished football was go and sell insurance. And Joe, of course, had been a teammate of mine in Winnipeg, and we roomed together when we traveled, so I got to know him pretty good. And he, along with an individual who was kind of a business mentor to both Joe and I, recommended that I at least give it a try. You know, it turns out that there was no looking back because I've been doing that for 29 years now.
Do you have any advice for any young newcomer CFL players?
Make sure you complete your education. So if you haven't completed it by the time you start playing, do what you can to complete it. And while you're playing, get involved in the community and give back. It's so important to be in front of the fans on a positive basis, and just really, you know, the other part of it is give it your all.
I think another group of people looking for some advice and some encouraging words right now are Bomber fans. A little frustrating for them right now. What would you tell a diehard Bomber fan?
It's tough to say be patient because they've been patient for a long time now, but I know the club is trying to do the right things in terms of developing at a management level, at a coaching level, and at a player level. Hopefully next year we can stay healthy, we can get a little bit better, get a little bit more experienced, and get back into the playoffs, because the Bomber fans so dearly and desperately deserve that.
I know you are still a huge Bomber fan, right?
Yes, indeed. I don't miss very many games. I know I do sit frustrated from time to time, but I do see some bright spots for sure. There is some great talent, and hopefully that talent will develop and they'll start developing some winning habits next year.
The action on the punting and the great athletes that are returning to football in this league.